Hey guys, welcome to today's video, and this one's a special one. We have a brand new Unearthed Arcana, but this Unearthed Arcana is for the next generation of D&D. As you can see, it's called Character Origins, and essentially it seems to be kind of somewhat defining what characters or player characters are going to be going forward with D&D. Now, we know for now it's called 1 D&D, we don't know if it's going to be called 6th edition or not. But for the sake of making things a little bit easier for people to follow and to watch, I'm going to break down this video into a number of separate not this video. I'm going to break down this Unearthed Arcana into multiple videos just to make it a little bit easier to follow which part you want. So I'm going to have a video on the races, the backgrounds and languages, a video on the feats, and then a video on the rules glossary. So for this one, we're going to go through the character races. And so this document is the first in a series of Unearthed Arcana articles that present material designed for the Player's Handbook coming out in 2024. So we know we're getting a new Player's Handbook. The material here uses the rules in the 2014 Player's Handbook, except where noted. Providing feedback on this document is one way you can help shape the next generation of D&D. So there we go, new Player's Handbook coming out in 2 years. So character races. These are the race options being considered for the Player's Handbook, all with updated design. Character backgrounds, you'll see the fun role that a character's background is going to play, helping flesh them out. Languages are languages. Feats, every first level feat mentioned herein appears in the feats section, which contains both new and revised feats. So we get new feats, there's some old feats, but first level feats, so that's brand new as well. And then the rules glossary. In this document, any term followed by an asterisk appears in the glossary at the end. This glossary defines certain rules terms that appear in this document, focusing on terms that have been clarified or redefined or don't appear in 2014's player handbooks. So new rules, better worded rules, old rules coming back. Before delving in, this is just letting you know that this is purely playtesting material, none of it's official yet, and that they want our feedback on it. So, determining your origin. After choosing your character's class, it's time to consider your character's origin. Who are your character's ancestors? How did the character end up spending the years leading up to their life of adventure? To help answer those questions, you need to choose 3 things: a race, a background, and a language. First point to note is they make you choose your class first. So if you look at the 2014 Player's Handbook, you choose your race first, then you choose your class, then you choose your background. But this seems to do class, race, background, language, which is interesting that there. So it seems to be that rather than your race being the core of your character, it's going to be your class now. A character's race represents an ancestry and confers game traits to the character. A character's background is a collection of characteristics that represent the place and the occupation that were most formative for the character. The character origin overview table lists the traits your characters gained from the race and background. So, character origin overview, loads of stuff here to get through. So, you got race traits and the description. You got the creature type. Every creature and monster in the game has, or every character and creature in the game has a creature type. So this is going to be something new then, because there's an asterisk there. We'll get to it in a different video. Size, a character's size determines the amount of space the character occupies. Same as 2014. The speed is the same as 2014. Lifespan. This lifespan is an average for a member of the race, assuming the dangers of adventure don't shorten that span. Okay. So it's just age essentially, and special traits. Each race provides special traits and collection abilities that can character gain from their ancestors. Backgrounds. I'm going to leave this little chunk here for the next video because we'll come back to it. I just want to kind of go through the races. So this kind of seems to be explaining how the new races and backgrounds work together. So race and background together help bring your character's backstory into focus, and they distinguish the character from other members of the same class. For example, 2 characters might both be members of the fighter class, but if one is a human guard and the other is a dwarf gladiator, the 2 bring different capabilities and flavour to the class. After choosing a race and a background, you choose a language that your character knows in addition to the common tongue and whatever language you gained from the background you chose. The combination of race, background, and languages provide fertile soil for your imagination as you ponder your character's earliest days and imagine your character's family, occupation, hometown, and more. Okay, so that's basic stuff, building your character. So the races we're going to be kind of highlighting today are human, Ardling, that's new, Dragonborn, Dwarf, Elf, Gnome, Halfling, Orc, and Tiefling. So one quick thing to point out there that I'm just noticing straight away, if we compare to the old Player's Handbook, the one that's missing is Half Elf, and the new one is this Ardling. So interesting that they've left half elf out of here. Half elf was famous for being kind of like the most powerful, one of the more powerful races. So interesting that they've left it out. So children of different humanoids. Races together, humanoids then determine whose race provides. This is basically just saying how you can kind of combine two races together. But let's get into the fun part, the races. Human. Found throughout the multiverse, humans are varied and they are numerous. They are relatively short-lived, but they strive to achieve as much as they can in the years they are given. They are skilled pioneers and artisans. They are builders of nations, roads, cities, and ships. They strive to secure their place in the world and in the annals of history by creating art, amassing wealth, making laws, and questing for immortality. Their ambition, resourcefulness, and commended respect and feared. Humans are as diverse in appearance as the people of Earth, and they have many gods. Scholars dispute the origin of humanity, but one of the earliest known human gatherings is said to have occurred in Sigil, the torus-shaped city at the centre of the multiverse and the place where the common tongue was born. From there, humans could have spread to every corner of the multiverse, bringing Sigil's cosmopolitanism with them. Okay, so this is the part I'm interested in. I don't think I'm going to go through that for every single one. I might go through a little bit just so we kind of get a rough idea of what they're bringing with this new edition, but that's a lot to get through each time. So these are the interesting parts for me anyway. So its creature type is humanoid, nothing there. Size, about 4 to 7 feet tall, or you can be small and be 2 to 4 feet tall. You choose when you select the race. Your speed is 30 years, or their speed is 30 feet, and your lifespan is 80 years on average. As a human, you have special traits. Resourceful. You gain inspiration whenever you finish a long rest. Okay, that's interesting. So looking at from a D&D 5e rule, they're finally utilising the inspiration mechanic a little bit more. But it seems to be there might be a new inspiration mechanic, see, because we've got the asterisks. And there's something different about a long rest because of the asterisks, but we'll get to those eventually. Skillful, you gain proficiency in one skill of your choice, so one proficiency is always good. And versatile, you gain the skilled feat or another first level feat of your choice. Interesting that humans now get feats. I wonder if every race gets a feat at level 1. On any given world in the multiverse, the material culture of humans can change from one region to another. In the Forgotten Realms, for example, the clothing, architecture, cuisine, music, and literature are widely different in the western heartlands than in the frozen north of Icewind Dale. As humans migrate, they bring elements of their cultures with them, giving the rise to diverse settlements that contain people with different physical characteristics, not to mention medley of clothing style, customs, and beliefs. Okay, that's fine. Here is the interesting one. Ardlings. Ardlings are supernal beings who are either born on the upper planes or have one or more ancestors who originated there. Their bright souls shine with the light of immortal beings who call upper planes home. So these kind of like, I get the feeling just off of that alone, they're like maybe like Asimir. I really like Asimir. It's one of my more preferred races. So you get 3 celestial legacies, which I suppose are sub-races nearly. Exalted, the fierce passion of Arborea, the heroic art of Isgard, and the wondrous nature of the beastlands, called the Ardlings, who have exalted celestial legacy. Their celestial ancestors are heroic champions of the chaotic good planes. Heavenly seems to be the lawful good planes, so Arcadium and Celestia, Bitopia, and idyllic are the neutral good planes, such as the beastlands, Bitopia, and Elysium. So what does an Ardling get? They're humanoid, their sizes are the same as a human, speed 30 feet, lifespan around 200 years. You get these special traits as an Ardling. Angelic flight. As a bonus action, you spread spectral wings for a moment and fly up to a number of feet equal to your speed. If you are in the air at the end of this movement, you fall if nothing is holding you aloft. You can use this bonus action a number of times to get your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay. So, it seems to be a lot here about the Ardlings. So, your celestial legacies seem to determine... Okay, I'm going to read this and then I'm going to come back to this table. Celestial legacy. You are the recipient of a celestial legacy that grants you magical abilities. Choose a legacy from the celestial legacies table. Exalted, heavenly, idyllic. You gain the initial benefit of the chosen legacy, a cantrip that you learn. You also choose the animal you most closely resemble. The table provides you with a few suggestions for each legacy. You don't gain wings by choosing an animal that can fly. Important to note. Starting at 3rd level, you gain And again, at 5th level, you gain the ability to cast a higher level spell with this trait, as shown on the table. Once you cast a spell with this trait, you can cast that spell again until you finish a long rest. However, you can cast a spell using any spell slots you have of the appropriate level, Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma is your spellcasting ability for the spells you cast with this trait. You gain resistance to radiant damage. Okay, so the different animals, so for Exalted, it's cat, eagle, goat, or mule. You get Thaumaturgy, Divine Favor, and Lesser Restoration. Okay, so not too bad. Heavenly, you get Elephant, Owl, Pig, or Stork. Light, Cure Wounds, Zone of Truth. That is very powerful. I feel that middle one. And Idyllic is Bear, Dog, Raven, Toad, Guidance, Healing Word, and Animal Messenger. Wow, Healing Word is going to be tied to a race. Whoa. Assuming they don't change Healing Word, that's pretty powerful in my opinion. Holy shit. Okay, moving on. Dragonborn. My favourite race in all of D&D. We all know who Dragonborn are and what they are, so let's just go straight into the fun part. So humanoids, medium 5 to 7 feet tall. So the Dragonborn can't be small. Important to know. 30 feet, 80 years. So you get your draconic ancestry. Your lineage stems from a dragon progenitor. Choose the type of dragon from the draconic ancestor table. Your choice affects your breath weapon and damage resistance traits. The chosen dragon also affects your appearance, with you displaying coloration on other features reminiscent of that dragon. So black, blue, brass, bronze, copper, gold, green, red, silver, white. The usual suspects. Let's see what they've done to breath weapons. So the breath weapon. As an action, you can exhale a destructive energy in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a dex save against your con modifier. On a failed save, a creature takes 1d10 plus your character level. That's huge. On a success save to take half damage, you can use this a number of times. Equals proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses on a long rest. Okay, so it does. I don't know if that's more damage on average. It's actually less damage on the character level changes things a little bit there. That's interesting. You gain the resistance. You get dark vision. Finally, they're giving Dragonborn dark vision, because bullshit that they haven't had it yet. And now Draconic language, you know Draconic. Okay, so Dragonborn are kind of basic and nothing too fancy there, but I'm happy with these changes to breath weapon and the dark vision. Just little polishing touches to what I feel are already a good race. Dwarves. Everyone knows dwarves. They're humanoid, they're medium, capping at about 5 feet tall, 30 feet, 350 years. You get dark vision. Dwarven resilience, you have resistance to poison damage, and you also have advantage on saving throws you make to avoid or end the poisoned condition on yourself. Oh, that's so good. Dwarven toughness, your hit point maximum increases by 1, and it increases by 1 again when you gain a level. That's really powerful. Forge-wise, your divine creator gave you uncanny affinity for working with stone or metal. You gain tool proficiency with 2 of the following options of your choice: jeweler's tools, mason's tools, smith's tools, or tinker's tools. Stone cunning. As a bonus action, you gain tremor sense with a range of 60 feet or for 10 minutes. Whoa. You must be on a stone surface or touching such a surface to use tremor sense. The stone can be natural or worked. You can use this bonus action number of times equal to proficiency bonus, and you regain all expenditures. That's a great ability. That's a really good ability. I really like that one. Dwarves of many worlds. So there's only the one type of dwarves now, and they've seemed to just mash it all into one. So you don't have like hill dwarves and mountain dwarves. They've definitely combined them into the one dwarf race. It's absolutely a powerful race, purely because the amount they get. So like if you compare this just to here on this side, what the Dragonborn get is 1, 2, 3, 4. They get 4, but you gotta bear in mind, if you take away dark vision and the language, because the language doesn't really matter, these get, so we're taking away dark vision, you get the resilience, which is similar to the resistance, so they're tied there. The toughness is something extra, forge wise something extra, and stone cunning. So it seems like they get 2 extra things, where Dragonborn only get 1. So maybe Dragonborn did get a short end of the stick again, because this is a powerful race. Elves. Let's see what they've done to the amazing elves that already exist. Jeez. Creature type humanoid, medium. Once again, can't be small, 5 to 6 feet tall. Despite the dwarves didn't get a small option. Speed 30 feet, 750 years. Dark vision, elven lineage. You're part of an elven lineage that grants you supernatural abilities. Choose a lineage from the table below. Drow, High Elf, Wood Elf. You gain first level benefit of that lineage. Starting third level, you get extra spells, and at fifth level, you get extra spells as well. That come back at a long rest, and you can use intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. So same kind of stuff there as the Ardlings. Fey ancestry, you have advantage on saving throws against the advantage on saving throws you make to avoid or end charmed condition on yourself. Okay, same. You get perception, that's the same. And trance, you don't need to sleep, and magic can't put you to sleep. You can finish a long rest in 4 hours if you spend those hours in a trance-like meditation during which you retain consciousness. Okay. So let's see what the different lineages offer. So this kind of just goes through each of them, but I'm curious what to say. So Drow. The range of dark vision increases to 120 feet. You also know dancing eyes. You get fairy fire and darkness. No sunlight sensitivity. They got rid of the stupidest bloody race mechanic in the game. So happy. High Elf. You know, prestidigitation cantrip. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can replace that cantrip with a different one from the arcane spell list. Okay, so the arcane spell list sounds like something new, which we will get to eventually. Third level, detect magic and misty step. That's a great selection of spells. And then Wood Elf, your speed is 30 feet, you also 35 feet, you also know the Druidcraft cantrip, Long Strider, and Passive trace. Wood Elf definitely seems like the weakest of the three there, but I mean that the 35 feet is always good, a little bit extra speed, but I think it just appears the weakest. I think this one's the strongest, the High Elf one, just the ability to swap out your cantrip, and it makes things a lot easier, in my opinion. But Trance seems as powerful as ever. Definitely, once again, another really, really powerful race. Definitely Elves and Dwarves seem to be the most powerful so far. Gnomes. Gnome. Humanoid. They're small. 30 feet, 425 years. Dark vision. Gnome cunning. You have advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. Wow. Holy jeez. Gnomish lineage. You are part of a gnomish lineage that... so same thing. You gain benefits. Wisdom, intelligence, charisma. So, geez, the lineages offer different things. So there's forest gnomes and rock gnomes. So forest gnome, you know the minor illusion cantrip. You can also speak with animals with this trait. You can also cast speak animals with traits. You can cast a gnome times to get your proficiency bonus. Okay, nothing too amazing there. It's just minor illusion and speak with animals. And then rock gnome, you know mending and prestidigitation cantrips. In addition, you can spend 10 minutes casting prestige to create a tiny clockwork device, such as a toy, a fire starter, or a music box. Casting a spell in this way consumes 10 GP worth of raw materials, string gears, and the like, which you provide during the casting. When you create the device, you determine its function by choosing one effect from the prestidigitation. So there's a bunch of effects that it offers. The device produces the effect whenever you or another creature takes a bonus action to touch the device and activate it. If you choose the effect that has options within it, you choose one of those options for the device when you create it. For example, if you choose the spell's Ignite Extinguish effect, you can determine whether the device ignites or extinguishes the fire. The device doesn't do both. You can have 3 such devices in existence at a time, and each one dismantles itself 8 hours after its creation. You can also touch one of your devices and dismantle it as an action. After a device is dismantled, you regain the 10 gold pieces worth of materials. Okay, they're kind of fun. That's a fun little ability. I like that. Once again, kind of seems weak though compared to dwarves and elves. So let's see what our hobbit or halfling friends offer. Humanoid, 2 to 3 feet tall, 30 feet, 150 years. Brave. You have advantage on saving throws you make to avoid or end the frightened condition on yourself. Halfling nimbleness. You can move through the space of any creature that has a size larger than yours, but you can't stop there. Nice. Luck. When you roll a 1 on the d20 of a d20 test, that's new, you can re-roll the die and you must use the new roll. Naturally stealthy, you have proficiency in the stealth skill. Okay, so that's all very new. That's interesting. The d20 test, I'm curious to see what that is when we get there. Orcs. So this seems to be straight up orc. There's no half orc, so that's one that's missing as well. So let's see what the orc offers. Humanoid. Medium, 6 to 7 feet, 30 feet, 80 years. Adrenaline Rush. You can take the dash action as a bonus action. When you do so, gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. You can use this trait number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. That's a great ability. That's a really, really good ability. I like that. Dark Vision 60 feet. Powerful build. You count as one size larger when determining your carrying capacity. Relentless Endurance. When you're reduced to 0 hit points but not killed outright, you can drop to 1 hit point instead. Once you use this trait, you can't do so until you finish. Okay, so they kept Relentless Endurance in there, thankfully. That's one of the best abilities that a half-orc had. I like orcs. I like this Adrenaline Rush and the Relentless Endurance. I actually really like that. I might build an orc myself out of that, because I would love to try that Adrenaline Rush ability. And now, one of the probably most popular D&D races, Tieflings. A Tiefling chooses whether to embrace or lament their fiendish legacy. The 3 legacies are as follow: Abyssal, Chthonic, or Infernal. Okay, so you've got like what I think is like lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil. So this would be lawful for Infernal, neutral would be Chthonic, and Abyssal is chaotic. So we'll see what each one offers. So Tieflings are humanoid. They can be medium or small. Speed of 30 feet, 100 years on average. You get Dark Vision, and then you choose your fiendish legacy, which offers extra stuff. You also get otherworldly presence. You know, the thaumaturgy cantrip. So let's see what the tables are. So Abyssal, you get resistance to poison. You know the poison spray cantrip, ray of sickness, whole person. Great choices there. Chthonic, you resistance necrotic. You also know chill touch, false life, and ray of enfeeblement. Once again, very good. And then Infernal. This seems to be the basic one, except you get resistance to fire damage, and you know the firebolt cantrip. Okay, you hellish rebuke and darkness. I like Tieflings. Guys, those are the races that are in this little handout. Like I said, I'm going to do more videos on the backgrounds, the feats, the languages, and the rules glossary. So please, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Make sure you subscribe, and I will get the other videos up as soon as I can. They should be up just shortly after this one. And if you enjoy this stuff, please hit the subscribe button. It means the absolute world to me. And make sure you hit that notification bell. And I will see you all in the next video for character backgrounds.